Good morning, one and all present over here. I, Professor Sylvia De Monti, would like to extend a warm welcome to all the dignitaries, guest speakers, our campus director, Dr. J.B. Patil sir, ICT coordinator, Dr. Ekta Upadhyay ma'am, all the heads of the department, faculties and students for a power seminar on HR Conclave, the future of human capital, in association with ICT Academy, hosted by our Universal College of Engineering. Now, I would like to request our campus director, sir, Dr. J.B. Patil, sir, to welcome our guest and address the students. Over to you, sir. Sir, you are not audible.
Sorry. Very good morning to all. Respected guests and my dear friends, the keynote speakers, Mr. Vijayan and Mr. Tyagi. I welcome you all to the HR Conclave hosted by Universal College of Engineering and organized by ICT. We are thankful to ICT giving chance to our college to host the HR Conclave. This is the first HR Conclave which we are hosting. Sir, our college is situated in Mumbai suburbs, Vasai East, District Palghar. We have started our college in academic year 2012 and 13. We have 5 branches, computers, IT, civil engineering, AIML and data engineering. We are approved by AICT and affiliated to University of Mumbai and approved by Government of Maharashtra DT. Sir, in last 9 years, the college has grown from scratch to the level which today we could place around 80 to 85% of our students in good companies like TCS, Capgemini, Tech Mahindra, etc. But still, I find that there is a gap between the academia and industry, which we would expect in today's keynote speech by you too, that what students need to highlight so that they are better employed. When I mean to say better employed at the higher pay packages and to A-grade companies. That's the intention of organizing today's HR Conclave. And being located in the suburbs, we are doing great things. We are basically focusing on project-based learning, and innovative projects are being given to the students. Students are being promoted to join internships right from their first year, and they do live projects in the industries. Our students participated in hackathon organized by Government of India from last 5 years, and I'm happy to say that 3 batches could won the prizes at that level. To the level of one batch won the prize of 1 lakh rupees, and there were 2 batches whose ideas were taken by the ministry, but they are yet in the process of implementation. We also promote students to participate in the IIT competitions, and very happy to say that in 9 IITs we are dominant in winning the prizes of first and second category. So students are having tremendous knowledge, need to be channelized, and your experience and expert talks will definitely motivate students to accept the challenges. And in this last 1.5 years, we are facing a lot of troubles, every one of us, due to pandemic. And there is always confusion in the mind of students whether we will get placement, and if we get offers, whether we will be absorbed and what is coming. There's also a lot of confusion between the students' mind that what is computer engineering, what is the difference between AI, ML and computer engineering, and so on. So based, you are industry based, so I would expect to highlight some of the few points on that also, so that students are more clear, and they're more clear on their job role part as well. So without taking much of your time, I would thank the organizers, head of the department, Dr. Ekta Upadhyay and her team, for organizing this, and thank you once again ICT for giving us chance to host the event. I would appeal all the students, take the advantage of this conclave and understand what keynote speakers and panel discussion members says, and we will work on it definitely. Thank you and have a great day, sir.
Thank you, Campus Director, sir, for your enlightening words and directions. Now let me introduce K. Vijayan, sir. He is a head of academic operations of ICT Academy, responsible for the implementation of largest government projects and CSR programs. He has successfully implemented more than 25 large projects across India. He has more than 30 years of experience in project implementations and operations. Having working with leading technology-enabled education company, I request you, sir, to inaugurate the session and address the students. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Ms. Sylvia, for your wonderful introduction. A very good morning to all the dignitaries here for this HR conclave on employability skills. It is ICT Academy's pleasure to support institutions who are members of ICT Academy in organizing such events for the benefit of the faculty and for the benefit of the students. And we encourage the management of the institutions to have more such programs at least twice per year, so that the students are always updated, the faculties are also updated of the happenings in the industry and what actually the industry is looking for. And that is why ICT Academy is here, established to connect the academia with the industry, to ensure that the faculty are updated and upgraded in their knowledge as per the latest trending technologies in the industry, to also ensure that the students are aware of what skills the industry is looking for in order for them to be ready to be deployable. The campus director cum principal, Dr. J.B. Patel, the Vice President, Global Tech and Data Hiring Leader, Mr. Ramit, Tyagi, Genpact Digital, Senior Vice President, Human Resource Geo, Mr. Harjit Kanduja, Head HR NTPC, Vandana Chanturvedi, Director HR Honeywell Automation Limited, Mr. Mahesh Joshi, CHRO First Source, Suchika Sahay, Program Manager and Analysis Future Skills, Microsoft India, Manager Talent Acquisition and Motorola Mobility India Private Limited. We from ICT Academy thank each one of you all for having consented to our request and helping us and supporting us in organizing such wonderful conclaves and events in the institutions. Before getting into the employability skills, what is being sought for in the industry, I would like to just give a small intro of ICT Academy for the benefit of the faculty and the students, and how such type of programs are reaching them. Now, ICT Academy is a not-for-profit society started in 2009 with the blessings of the Government of India, as the Government of India recommended ICT academies to be started in every state. Our chairman, Mr. Lakshmi Narayan, the ex-emeritus vice chairman of Cognizant Technologies, took the initiative of starting this in 2009 in Tamil Nadu. With the blessings of NASSCOM, representing from Government of India. And we also have representatives from the state government, all the IAS bureaucrats, like the IT secretary, the labor and employment secretary, the higher education secretary. All of them are part of our board of governors. And today we have from the industry, we have leaders from Microgram, we have leaders from TCS and from Foxconn Communications Limited. All of them are part of our board of governors. And in our board of studies, we have more people from the industry, more directors, presidents from the industry, which you all can always visit the website and know the strength of our board of studies. So with the help of all of them, nevertheless, the technology giants like Microsoft, Cisco, Salesforce, AWS, now of late, Celonis, Juniper, all of them are our technology partners. So with the support of all these techno giants, we are able to achieve our mission of connecting the industry with the academia, point number one. Point number two, taking the latest trending technology to the institutions, upgrade and empower the faculty of the institution, which was our first objective, which the Government of India wanted us to do, of empowering the faculty and getting them upgraded in their knowledge with the latest trending technology. And creating a new generation talent pool, which is our second objective when starting this ICT Academy. And over the years, we have developed 5 other strong pillars. So we are working with a 7-pillar program of faculty development, skill development, youth empowerment, research and journals, digital empowerment, and these are pillars that are making us very strong enough to take and empower the higher education ecosystem of the industry. So today we have, our model is like so we brought in this as one of our core thing, where the higher education, they become our members, the institutions, and those institutions are being serviced by us with various programs like faculty development. They can access, the institutions can access our journals, which is UGC Care listed. We have 6 journals, out of which 4 are UGC Care listed, which is given access, the access is given free to the higher education institutions online. We support the institutions in conducting such HR conclaves. We conduct an industry-institute interaction where the higher education institutions, where the leaders from the higher education institutions come to one forum, and ICT Academy brings the leaders from the industry into the same forum and connect them. Directors, CHROs, all of them participate in our industry-institute interaction, which is called as the ICT Academy Bridge. We conduct it once in a year in every state, and wherein we invite the industry leaders and the higher education chairmen, directors, principals into one forum, so that they can exchange ideas, they can network and understand what is happening in the industry. So these are some of the activities that ICT Academy does in order to build the higher education ecosystem to the demands of the industry. The next, what we do is we work with corporates in order to take technology and develop the employability skills in the underprivileged students, we work with big corporates, submit proposals, and look out for CSR funds, which we can use and skill the students free of cost with the funds from the corporates. With that, we are successful in bagging some orders and signing some MOUs as implementation partners of CSR projects with Reliance, CSS Corp, DXC Technology. Now we have signed a very big project with Honeywell Incorporation, Americo, DXC Technology. We are training nearly some 17,000 students across students and faculty across the country. We have also signed up a MOU with ICT to train students on NSDC accredited courses in Jammu and Kashmir. So such projects, such volume of large projects are being taken just to empower the students in order to become employable, deployable students. We call it as deployable students and industry-ready resources. This is what ICT Academy does, just for the understanding of the students and the faculty and those who are new to ICT Academy. Now today, this HR conclave, we are happy to have with us leaders from the industry to share their thoughts on employability skills for the future, which will help our students in order to inculcate, imbibe, and get themselves ready as industry-ready resources. That is the objective of this HR conclave. And we have leaders who are from big corporates and who have got the experience, who can share their thoughts and help the student community in order to get ready to face the corporate world. Now here, just to talk a few things on employability skills. First of all, let me make the students understand what we mean by saying, what is the difference between employability and deployability. Dear students, employability is just being the ability to get a job with the basic job-related skills. It could be basic presentation skills which you already have, or basic communication skills which you already have, good etiquettes, mannerisms, along with your degree, that is your educational qualification. That is what is employability. But when it comes to deployability, it means like saying an army person who is ready for the combat. Who is ready for the combat. That's a term they use in the army, where that particular army person is ready to handle any situation in a war. That is what they say deployable, meaning that is where they say that the person is ready for deployability. So deployability here means you are ready in terms to be ready for action. A deployable person is a person who will flow from the word go, meaning you are ready to be productive from day number one in the corporate that you join. That is what is deployability. A person who has confidence, who can give confidence to the organization that he is the real find for the job. That is deployability. So these are the differences between employability and deployability. When you are only employable, when you are ready only for employability, that means there is a lot of job for the corporate to do to get you productive. You need to undergo some training and undergo some probationary period, and only after that you become deployable, meaning productive from that day. But deployability is that you are ready from the word go. That means you are ready to be productive from day number one. So how can you be deployable? There is a lot of work to be done. A few skills, a mysterious skills that the industry will be looking for is what I wanted to share. It is structured problem solving, interpersonal skills, facilitation and team building, logical and creative thinking, that is to bring in innovation. And the fifth, understanding customer perceptions and expectations. This is what the industry is looking for, along with tech savviness. Along with tech savviness. You are all engineering students. The institution more focuses on the syllabi of the industry to be covered. The institution will be looking on more to get you all through the examinations, and you will also be looking for achieving your degree certificate. But there are so many other skills that the industry is looking for. When I talk about tech savviness, you should know what is the trending technology, what is the upgraded version of technology which the industry is deploying. That is very important. Today, we are talking about cloud infrastructure and services, big data analytics, artificial intelligence, blockchain technology, robotics, machine learning, and more in the networking arena. You need to be aware if the job that you are looking for, what is the technology that is being used, what is the platform that is being used. You should have updated and upgraded knowledge of all this. Along with that, there are some soft skills which you need to inculcate, imbibe in you, and get yourselves ready to be deployable resources. In that, most important will be, creativity and innovation. The second one, data literacy. That is, you need to know how to play with data, make an analysis out of data, make meaningful statements out of data. That is another important skill that you need to develop in you, wherever you go for your, whichever career that you are looking for. The next important is communication. Your communication, you can be very good in communication in your local language, but when it comes to a global language, English is the communication. And you need to be very, very effective in communicating in English. So what is it that you have to do to improve your communication, to improve your communication skill, to ensure that the opposite person is understanding your communication, has taken what you actually wanted to convey? These are all very, very important skills that you need to develop. And then we call it as the critical thinking, managing things in difficult situations, which is very, very important. And as all of you all know, COVID brought difficult scenarios, difficult situations to all the corporates around the world. Not knowing what to do, not knowing what step to take next. Because the leaders were very, very good at critical thinking, very, very smart at thinking and taking effective measures, all the corporates who had leaders of such type were able to manage the situation and proceed. That is the same thing what ICT Academy did, just to update you all. During this COVID-19, when it started off last March, we were wondering how to go ahead, because we were all used to physical mode of training. We were used physical mode of practical classes, everything. The whole education system became standstill at that point of time. That is the time ICT Academy came forward, started thinking, the management started thinking of what to do. And that is how today you can see in our poster, it is a Sky Campus. We started the Sky Campus, which is the online mode of delivery of anything, education, conference, whatever it may be. We started Sky Campus and never stopped our services to the educational institutions. We continued our faculty development programs online. We continued our skill development training online. From March, we suffered from COVID-19 block, situation came to a standstill, but immediately we got into action, and from April onwards, we got into the online mode. Today, many institutions are following the system that we had initiated in last April to go into the digital mode. And students, engineering students as you all need to be very, very good in digital and coding. Today, every activity in the industry is going to be digitized. Every mundane jobs which is there available in your workplace is to be digitalized. And that is all happening through robotics and coding. So that is something that is a skill that each one of you all need to inculcate and imbibe in yourselves. And when you all get into a workplace, emotional intelligence is very, very important. You need to ensure that you are in other people's situation when you discuss something or when you want something or whatever work that you need to be taken from them. You need to manage people with empathy, which is very, very important. Only then you will be facilitating team building in your workplace. You need to facilitate yourself such that the others are able to work with you. You should be able to facilitate yourself. You should be flexible enough to work along with others. Only that will help you in team building. Over and above all that, the most important skill that each one of us have to develop, when I say each one of us have to develop, is commit to a lifetime learning, which is very, very important. Commit to a lifetime learning, which is very, very important today. If you don't commit to a lifetime learning, you will be stagnant. You will be only where you are as you started. There will not be any progress in your lifestyle. There will not be progress in your career. So commitment to our lifetime learning is very, very important, and that needs to be inculcated from now. Truly, to be speaking to you all, I do not like reading at all. When I was in my college days, I do not like reading at all. I do not even like to take a book and sit on in front of me. Automatically, I go off to sleep. But then when I started my career, I came to know I cannot be the same. So that is the time I started reading a lot of books, trying to improve my knowledge, trying to improve my leadership skills. And that is how you can always rise in position in your career. These are all very important things today which the industry is looking for. So to be deployable students, I told you all the difference between employability and deployability. To be deployable students, you need to ensure you are upgrading yourself, updating yourself with knowledge, being flexible and adaptable to changes, which is very, very important. Only then you can become sometimes a very, very productive gig employee. When I say a gig employment, it means you may be inheriting 3 or 4 skills in you. You can be a musician, you can be a programmer you can be a programmer, you can be something else, you can maybe to be very frank, maybe good in carpentry. Now, inheriting these 3 skills and being flexible and adaptable, you can sometimes be working for 3 different corporates. Or you can be working in 3 different fields. That is what is gig employment today. This is what we call gig employment. And today, working from home being the concept, it becomes even more easier for a person to be a gig employee. And if you are inheriting 3-4 skills in you, you can always be a consultant to 3 or 4 corporates. So these are the things that will get you will get you an employment of your choice, a good career for yourself, in order to help yourself to live a very good lifestyle, which you all will be dreaming for. Even if you're going in an entrepreneurial way, you need to inhibit all these skills, which is very, very important. So on behalf of ICT Academy, let me thank all the industry speakers who are here today to share their thoughts. It is just a few thoughts that I have shared. How to inhibit them, how to inculcate them, how to get it inside you will always be hearing from the most experienced, the leaders of the industry who are here today to share their thoughts. And thank you very much to the campus directors and the HODs, the ICT Academy coordinator of Universal College of Management of Engineering, who has made this HR conclave possible by coordinating with our team in the state of Maharashtra. I thank my colleagues Sundaraman and Rawat for having made this possible, along with Universal College of Engineering. Thank you very much, and wish all the students a wonderful career ahead. Take care of yourselves, be safe, be healthy. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Vijayan sir, for detailing us with ICT Academy and addressing our students, motivating them with your knowledge and wisdom. Thank you. Our keynote speaker for today's session is Mr. Ramit Tyagi. He is a Vice President of Global Tech and Data Hiring Leader with Genpact Digital, leading the global technology hiring at Genpact Digital, hiring the technology talent for the future, having 20+ years of in-depth experience in leading technology, hiring teams and helping fast-growing organizations. I request you, sir, to express the central idea of the session to our students. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Sylvia. A very good morning to all of you, Dr. Patil, Vijayan sir, respected teachers, and all the dear students. So it's a pleasure to be here, and thanks for having us all here today. So I lead a tech hiring for entire Genpact globally, and I've been being a recruitment person for last 20 years now. And I just, I'm here today to share some of my learnings and experiences with all of you, and I hope it helps all of you. And as Vijayan sir correctly said, so I think the last year was all about surviving this pandemic, keeping ourselves safe. And that is the reason a lot of things slowed down. A lot of industries totally tanked. A lot of industries, including the IT industry, slowed down. Everybody was thinking how to live with it, and what is it all about, Suddenly, with the times, everybody started realizing that it's not going to go anywhere. So what do we do now? So I think the best, minds were put into solutioning how do we live with it and grow with it. And to, also mention that what we all learned was that we'll always have difficult times. There is no escape from them. The world is very unpredictable. There's a third wave coming or not coming. What we need to be sure of is we'll be learning new things every single day and be ready for the unseen. The times that are yet to be seen, and the only way to tackle them is going to be like when we are on our toes, keep learning new skills and be ready for the unpredictable. And as a lot of skills Vijayan sir talked about are, to keep abreast with the latest technologies and be relevant to the industry. And a very good difference between deployable and employable. While employable is all about you making your bread and butter, earning your living for your own family and yourself, deployable is when you create a much bigger impact, not only for you, for your teams, for your customers, for your employer, and for your country as well. While India was always looked upon as a low-cost services destination for many, many years, in fact, for last 20, 25 years, now there are new regions coming up in the globe, which could very well take over these low-cost services from us, because India is no more a low-cost destination anymore. What do we do now? So still remain competitive, still be relevant to the customers and the global client that we want to work with and create a difference to the world and their businesses is, again, it's all about, again, being deployable, learning the new skills, and do not leave that, leave that thought that you are engineers, so you have taken this course to do something new and not to do the run-of-the-mill stuff. While we can never be, it's not possible to be the first or the biggest most of the times, but there's nothing that can stop any of us to be the best in whatever we do. And that is where it comes to the learning part of it, where you don't need to depend on your college or only on your teachers and professors. In the current world of remote working and remote connectivity and in an interconnected world, there's nobody who's going to come and ignite that fire or spark in you to learn new things every day. You could be sitting in India and choose a mentor sitting somewhere in Ukraine or Australia or US, anywhere. There is a benefit of being in this interconnected world, and this is the best time to make the best use of it. I mean, while colleges will always try to catch up with the industry needs, the real fact is, and I've been again, I was hiring something else 2 years back, which was the hottest skill. I'm hiring something else today. And I'll actually be hiring something else maybe after an year. Even as an employer, we are not really able to catch up with the way the industry and the technology world is changing every single day. So what do you do is, while you keep the engineer alive in your own focus and passion and attitude, you need to keep on adding new layers to your own profile as a software programmer or as an engineer as well. I mean, that is how you remain relevant to your customers, your employers, and to the world as well. And I can see that in last few years, while new startups are coming up, we also see a lot of new designing and architectural software engineering stuff coming to India now, which never used to be the case previously. We used to get most of the support and services work. Now, I think we also have more colleagues with us today who's going to talk more about it. But India is far, again, coming back as a superpower, which is more of engineering, creating Java today, Python, or AI, ML, data science, cloud, whatever. These are going to be your ability to write create the right algorithms, flowchart, or the right reasoning. Those problem-solving skills will never go away. In the current times, if you keep that whole foundation alive and actually keep it, abreast with the new skills and new learnings, you'll always remain relevant to the industry, and that's where you will always remain deployable. Also, I want to give you one more example is last year, many companies were not able to survive, sustain when the pandemic hit us all new. They let go a lot of people. And I'm sure Vijan sir will also agree that a lot of those people lost their jobs because there was a lot of industries that just let go people, and there was a lot of layoffs, happening everywhere. Now, most of those people are back now into the industry. But apart from the skills that we carry as a professional, the important skill will always be for any of us will be adaptability and resilience. A soldier who doesn't give up will finally win the war. While you can always keep on adding more ammunitions, new tools, but the main attitude will always be not to give up whenever a tough time comes to you. So as long as you're able to carry that attitude, and many of the people who lost jobs last year are now back at much better packages because they just turned around the whole game for themselves and for the industry as well. They kept on learning. They did not give up, when the tough times came. They learned the new skill. They picked up a new skill. In the current industry, mathematicians, most were taking jobs of teachers and professors in colleges for a very, very long time. Right now, these are learning. So as long as you remain learning new skills and keeping up with the industry, and for which you don't need to again depend on anybody else for showing you the path, you'll always do well in your career. You'll always be employable anyways, but you'll create a bigger impact for yourself, your teams, and your customers. And finally, that's what's going to matter. And again, in the current scenario, again, the other topic that I got today was to talk about what is a personal brand and how important it is for all of us. Now, again, while you come from a college which has its own reputation and brand, what finally will matter to you and your employer is going to be what are you bringing to the table? How positive are you when you deliver your day-to-day tasks in a critical, complicated environments or a demanding environments? So while your technical skills and your tech savviness will always give you an edge above others, what will finally also matter is how much do you inspire others when they work with you? What value do you bring to the table to your customers? And while you work towards some critical assignments and challenging, tasks, how do the people who work with you feel about working with you? And how do they know you? What do they relate you to? Do they relate you to the right values or not? Do you really inspire them? Do they look at you as a positive person, an enthusiastic person, an energetic person, somebody who really helps others to do better? I'll give you certain examples. For me, when we go out and hiring, apart from their tech skills, how good are they at React.js or Node.js or Python or whatever those buzzwords we talk about? Can they work in a team? Can they also make others comfortable working while they are working toward their targets? So you have to be a positive personality, and that is what is a personal brand. You should be very clear, what do I want to be known as? Somebody may want to be known as a punctual guy who never gets late. Somebody may want to be known as a guy who takes ownership of his own tasks and is accountable, which means somebody gives you a task, then they forget about it. And you will not wait for a reminder to very basic things of professionalism. And I'll tell you, while these things will look very old-fashioned, there are certain attributes that will never go out of style. Wherever you are, in whichever country you are, people always like people who come on time. People always like people who talk positive things, who are not negative, who are more energetic, are always liked by everybody else. And you will see these are the people who will always have a faster growth among the entire crowd. So while all of us will get enough and equal opportunities many a times, what do you do with those opportunities will still be a personal decision, as well as a personal impact that you create. And another example I want to share with you is, I was taking so I used to work for a product engineering company. I was working on a very critical requirement. After processing some 15-20 candidates, I finally got a person who got selected. I took him for his final round of interview, one of my directors, and he got rejected. And I asked my director, we got this person after so many rejections, and he already cleared all the lower rounds and tech 1 round, tech 2 round. Why did you reject him? And his answer was, Ramit, this guy, he came to give an interview and he was thinking, I know you'd have come in a Delhi summer. I know he will sweat. We all sweat, right? But if somebody cannot sit with him, how would somebody work with him? A very basic hygienic part, okay? But this really showed that how professional you are, and are you ready to work in a team or not? What kind of impact and experience do you create for people who work with you? So these are very basic things, but this is how you create a personal brand. You should be very clear what values and attributes you want to be known as. Also create a right network. And in the current times of social media, where even we go to somebody's social media profile, check what kind of thoughts do they share on their network, their walls, their Facebook and their LinkedIn. Create the right network, choose the right mentors, again, and be in the right company. Also create a brand on you about yourself on your social media channel. When people go to your LinkedIn, they should see a positive personality, somebody who's creative, somebody who again likes to share his knowledge, somebody who likes to help others to do better in their life. Apart from your technical skill, these are the soft skills that we look for. Again, everybody wants a team player, because ultimately it's the team that wins. Unless your name is John Rambo, you will always have to be a team player to win a battle or win a game. So be a team player and be positive. Create a positivity around yourself while keep on abreast. And another research that says is, whatever skills are relevant today, they will not be relevant after 18 months. What I am hiring today, let's say React.js, I was hiring Ruby on Rails maybe 2-3 years back, or Angular, a different version, a couple of years back. These things will keep on changing. But the engineer in you has to be adaptable. They should be ready to learn a new skill and, put a new layer on their profile. Other thing, as a student, that I want to suggest you is, doing a job is one thing. Clearing an interview is a very different thing altogether. Unless you prove in the interview that you can do a job, it's very difficult to clear or pass that barrier to be on that side of the wall and be a part of the employer or employment. So always be prepared how to face an interview. Present yourself as a very positive candidate, positive person. Wherever you don't know something or don't know certain skills, no point in beating around the bush or just faking it, because obviously everybody wants you to be real, be authentic. If you don't know a skill, show them the potential that yes, I can learn it. Show them the learnability. I'm telling you this, nobody is perfect, but if you have the right potential to learn and you show that attitude to learn, you'll always be in demand, whichever company it is, whichever employer it is and whichever skill it could be. So I think people would always want to hire people who are flexible, who inspire others, who are positive, open to learn, and be flexible. Because you may never know what we may have to do tomorrow. Be flexible, be adaptable, and be relevant. That's how all of us will be in demand, and that's how I think India will grow as a country in the future. So these are my thoughts. I think that's all from my side today. Any questions? Please feel free that you want to ask me.
Sylvia, you can take some questions and pass it on to Mr. Ram Tyagi.
Yes, sir. We'll be discussing the questions in the panel discussion afterwards. So we can do that in that. Fine. Yeah. Thank you, Tyagi sir, for guiding and motivating our students with your experience. It is really going to help our students. Heading towards the panel discussions, we have our guest speakers for today's session as Harjit Khanduja. He is a Senior Vice President of HR in Jio. He is an international speaker, author, poet, visionary, HR leader, inventor, and influencer. He is a TEDx speaker and speaks on a variety of topics, including HR, leadership, technology, economics, and entrepreneurship. Vandana Chaturvedi. She is a HR head at NTPC. She has over 25 years of experience in human resource, R&R, land acquisition, corporate social responsibility, corporate communication function in India's leading power utility NTPC Limited. Mahesh Joshi. He is a director HR at Honeywell Automation India Private Limited. He has over 20 years of experience in various industries like healthcare, automobiles, and automation engineering, and diversified businesses like Abbott Laboratories and Honeywell International. Suchika Sahay. She is a CHRO at First Source, a leading provider of business process solution in the banking and financial services, healthcare, communications, media and technology industries, and has over 20 plus years of experience. Pooja Yadav ma'am. She has over 10 years of experience in the EdTech domain as a program manager, business development strategist, and analyst. She was one of the founding members of NASCOM Future Skills Prime. Leslie Callistos. He's a manager, talent acquisition at Motorola Mobility India Private Limited, and he has 8 years of experience in recruitment. Now, I would like to request you all to initiate the panel discussion on the topic, Future of Learning in the Emerging New Normal. Over to you all. Let's move towards the questions.
Okay, so good morning, everyone. I'll start if somebody is not going ahead. So, hi, good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. This is Mahesh. I'm representing a company called Honeywell Automation India Limited. I'm in HR from last 20 years, and I have really seen various different industries. And every industry follows a very different, practices, processes, and even their learning needs are very different. Like example, I was really like what Ramit did mention about that the technology that we hire today may be not relevant, because, and I can correlate that we used to hire cloud, machine learning, AI, ML, everything few days back. And we are a core industrial company as well, along with our technology domain. So we never leave our core. So basically our chemical engineering, our metallurgist engineering are very like specific to aviation, specific to oil and gas. So we are very diverse when it comes to Honeywell, and we can really see that difference that we see coming out in the various industries. So taking clue from there, I think so the learning platform, which I have seen changing in last 24 months, it's much higher compared to what I have seen in last 20 years. And ideally this is happening because definitely a COVID pandemic, our tuning or our culture that we have seen in past so many years, we really love to see our faculty in front of us. That's how we tune. Like from the kid, we always have gone into the schools, colleges, or or institutions where you have somebody teaching you in front. And that's like, I have conducted so many employee satisfaction surveys where always it has came out that why can't we have more face-to-face trainings? Okay, and even though we are very strong on the learning management system or learning management modules, but people are still wanted to have face-to-face learning. That's how they like it. So that mindset will definitely have to change over the period of time, and it is changing. It's not that it is not, but now I think so it would be a force on the corporates as well to change that. And for that, lot of investments being done by corporates on the learning modules, on the gamification of the trainings, and so on and so forth. So if you see, these are the new buzzwords, like you will get a points, you will get a credits, you will going to get awarded because of that if you get more and more into a training, and so on and so forth. So definitely that one good thing that we will going to see as a change coming up. And second, I think so this emotional connect with the trainer, I think so how we really need to change the mindset of the employees, because today if you see, except last 1.5 years, our modules are all practical in terms of having face-to-face trainings. Even our kids don't go even hybrid models. If you see in past, like we have nominated a lot of our people into hybrid learnings, where some teachers would be there in the US, UK, Israel, and so on and so forth. But still people want one trip at least to go there and see them. That's the ask, actually speaking. And ideally speaking, that change needs to be bring by now this corporate team as well as the colleges, that you will have to move into a virtual world more and more, so that it would be inculcated into our kids, and then they would be a deployable rather than not learned into the corporate over the period of time. So that one thing definitely I would like to talk about brand. I think so I agree what Ramit did mention, but I have a lot of stuff on brand. So let's other talk about it now. So I'll just hold it here. Pooja, you're speaking on mute, I guess.
Yeah, we can't hear you, madam.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. And
Hello, madam.
hello, sir. So it's my pleasure to be here today and interacting with you all. With my experience around 10 years in the industry in the space of skilling, I would try to put my thoughts together here for students, though I have all the visionaries uh, around me with more than like 20 years of experience. So I am just feeling good that I'm here and I'm listening to you all. So this is going to help me also. So I've been in the skilling space and I've been a part of this initiative which is called Future Skills, which was around the skills which are very important for future today. So we have a lot of research around us, and we're looking at these studies which are saying that most of the job roles around us are going to change in like not like 65% of the job roles that are currently there in the industry, they won't be there. So there were speculations around that okay, if job are not going to be there, is there going to be a situation of unemployment, or is there going to be a dearth of jobs in the market. So then we had more studies, and from WEF and from McKinsey also, that they were saying that most of the job roles will be replaced by the new job roles. So basically the crux of the story was that you have to be relevant for the job roles which are going to be there in the future. So along with the tech job roles, it was also found that professional skills are increasingly becoming very important, because the tech people, they were focusing on the tech skills. They were being very good at the tech skills, but the soft skill part was actually missed in the tech students. So they were excellent programmer, but they were not able to present themselves. But then new things are coming, like critical problem solving, design thinking, and collaborating with other teams, as well as some more problems like more skills like program management, project management. So for all these skills, I mean, these are the additional skills which are very relevant in today's time, and they are continue to going to be relevant in the future also. So all the students who are in the tech field, they must understand the the combination of technology skills plus professional skills plus some domain related knowledge. The combination of all is going to be very important, and that is what employers today they are looking for. now, as Ramit said and Mahesh also said that, things are going to be, I mean, everything will continue to be changed in future. So, I mean, we have these technologies today. We will have some other technologies tomorrow. So, fundamentals, your foundation has to be very strong. That core has to be there, which, will always help you and guide you to be better at your work. And also this your self motivation to learn the new things, and always ready for change, and you always you're very welcoming to whatever is coming in the market, so that you should actually learn. Initially we used to think that these are inbuilt natural capabilities that people are born with. They are good speaker, or they really are good at collaborating with people, or they can really learn fast. But now we have started understanding that there are definitely some methods and courses and trainings available which can really help you to understand the techniques behind all these things, and you can definitely incorporate these qualities, and then you can become a better professional who is ready for tomorrow. So these are my thoughts on future of learning, and we can definitely discuss more.
Thank you, ma'am. Anybody else, like Leslie sir or somebody wants to say something?
Yeah, a couple of thoughts from my side. First of all, thank you so much for this opportunity and to be with the panel with the leaders in the industry. Thank you so much. So coming to the future of learning, today we are already in the future, and this is going to change drastically is what my understanding as well. In the industry, if I look at today, the modes of learning, I like to talk about specifically the modes and the operational things related to learning as well, how it has changed, how it will be changing in the future as well. So number one, like today, earlier we used to go to institutes, learn the skill, and then apply that in our daily lives. Today you have too much of information in the internet which you can choose to learn, right? And there are paid content, there are free content, both is available in the internet. So as a student, it's important that you will have enormous information and data to learn, but what you need to focus is the key here, right? Instead of learning everything, earlier we tend to learn, we'll do multiple courses and we try to upskill ourselves. Instead, today the focus is more towards specialization of particular things, and so you as a learner, you might need to focus on one particular skill set or one particular area that you want to be an expert, and focus on going depth on those areas, right? Today, as you see, like where Udemy in the market itself, we have Udemy and other platforms where you can start learning. And it's not that very difficult that you cannot afford education today outside your schools, outside your college. Today you can get any education around the world as well. So it's important for you to understand what you actually want to focus and how to build your knowledge and expertise on that particular area instead of learning multiple things and confusing yourself on that. So that's one thing. And the other thing, if you look at today, there are many online educators coming every day, and it's more about the quality than the quantity of content that you have. So as I said, it's more on the from where you're learning and what kind of quality content that you're going to consume is what matters a lot. So that's the how the direction of learning is going on. So you should, as everybody, including myself, and I should adapt in terms of the new learning model. And today in the organizations as well, earlier we used to do like face-to-face training, and we bring people from different locations to the office and get the training done. But today we are all working from home, and the trainings across the globe is done over online and other modes, like we are having hybrid modes, or we are having complete online mode as well. So the importance here is, again, in terms of learning, it's not about just delivering the content. It's more towards the gamification and how the experience for the learner can be improved. That's going to be the future of the learning industry itself, right? If I'm a trainer or if I'm the coach, then I need to focus not just on the content, on the what the things I'm going to deliver. Instead, I should also focus on the experience of what people are going to have through my programs, and what is the impact that is going to create for them. So that is how the direction is going to be. Earlier it used to be just content and you learn some course and you have a certification. You're going about that. So today certification is not a ideal or a mandatory thing. Today instead people are looking at your skill set. People are looking at what you can perform on the job. So that matters a lot. So the quality and the experience in the learners is what the future will be. That's my thought. Yeah.
Thank you, Leslie sir, for your guidance. Anybody else like Suchika ma'am or Harjit sir wants to say something?
Hi Sylvia, and I'm Vandana Chaturvedi and very happy to be part of this panel discussion. I basically represent a company which is very engineer specific, you can say, and the learning landscape is particularly related to that. When I look at what has happened in the past 1.5 years, we have had changes, and those changes have been so rapid. The digitization has, of course, gone ahead, and I think there may not be any one particular organization who is not affected by it, but we have already ridden over that wave. If you look at it, past 1 year back or 2 years back, we were thinking that digitalization would catch up. There were a lot of people were thinking about this. But what has happened in the pandemic is that people didn't get time to react, but it was forcibly done in the companies. Like it was a need of the companies, and everybody has gone ahead and done that. When we look at the learning landscape, it has also ridden this wave. So there is no going back. So we are already at a certain point in digitization, and it's only about the perspective that needs to be captured. So earlier, if you look at what the companies were doing as far as training is concerned, it was more a push kind of a training where you would, prepare a yearly calendar, a monthly calendar, ask the employees what are their needs, and do something about that, and probably publish a calendar and ask these employees to attend. So right now, what is happening is there are a lot of micro learnings which has come up. There are a lot of LMSs which are available. Companies are adopting these LMSs, and my own company has partnered with several companies in moving ahead this learning landscape. When you look at the mindset of the employees, it's not about what you can give as part of learning infrastructure to the employees, but what is it actually they need. So there's a word which has been coined by Mr. Josh Bersin. I find it very relevant to the companies today. That says learning in the flow of work. So you learn as you go. So earlier we were doing a very comprehensive 1 year training as far as the new joinees were coming to our organization. It was a very specific, they would do certain modules. We'll have exams, tests, and then it would, pass on and become part of the company's culture. Not so anymore. So what we are doing is we are immediately asking these employees whenever they're joining the company to go and actually report to the project, the place they'll be working in. So right now we don't have that legacy or probably the what should I say, cushion to wait for a year for these people to catch up with the organization. But then learn. A lot of plethora of learnings are available. Micro learning platforms are available. It's actually happening. Every day changes are there in the learning landscape. So it's become a very flexible world out there in the companies. So whatever you need, you'll probably find it somewhere, someplace. So the onus of learning has shifted from the company pushing you towards learning to yourself owning that learning. It's become more employee specific. And when I say, so what are the learning academies doing? So we have huge training setups in the companies. So what is happening today is that it's becoming more specialized. So the place where I'm sitting at, we have a safety academy which is only focusing on the safety training within the company. So it's more about creating a framework of safety, creating modules, very specialized modules which will be given at different levels. And it's not just about learning for the employees per se, but also about the contracting workforce, which has become a norm for the company these days. So we are taking care of our associates also, our contract workers also. So it's become a huge, a different scale altogether. So a lot of these things have happened, and going forward, I don't think we are going to go back to those classroom trainings. Yes, certain management modules would be happening offline. We may have a group of people coming together for team-based trainings or something like that. But most of it, it will be a hybrid model, and this is here to stay. So thank you.
Thank you, Vandana ma'am, for giving focus on what type of learning is required nowadays. Also, anybody else like Suchika ma'am or Harjit sir wants to say something, they can continue with that.
So let me just add one example and make this come alive, right? We launched our values very recently across the organization. That was a little, I joined 6 months back. That was a little earlier before I joined First Source as the CHRO. We sent a lot of awareness campaigns. We got a lot of things done for people. We put an e-learning module. The idea is that every employee should adhere to those behaviors or be able to demonstrate them. Now, you can do that much by pulling people out of work. I mean, the same Josh Bersin said that, an average employee is spending only 24 minutes in a week on their own learning. So where will the employees have the pull to sort of go and enter a system and learn e-module? They want to order a taxi today, they can do that in a click of a button. They can transfer their money on a click of a button, and they can order their grocery throughout COVID on a click of a button, right? So that's the experience in social space. So when they come to organization, they don't want to log in a system or get into a online classroom and learn. So, when we were launching our values, one of the things that we went and told Microsoft Teams, which is part of Microsoft, and I see there is a speaker from Microsoft here today, and we told them that, look, we want a values nudges culture in the organization, and we can't put posters everywhere because nobody's coming to office, and it's done to death, right? Putting posters all over the place is done to death. So what they did is, what they are working with us on is, if you look at the screen, and if we want people to be more inclusive, there'll be a nudge that will come at some point in this meeting for people to say that, hey, has everybody spoken? Has everybody given their ideas? That's inclusion. So when Vandana spoke about learning in the flow of work, we want to provide a nudge to employees, to leaders, to demonstrate value as they are talking, working, speaking, interacting with people. And that's what technology has made possible. So whether it's work, whether it's processes, or whether it is learning, everything has become more technology oriented, and absolutely COVID has accelerated that. So just wanted to give an example so that it sort of comes alive a little bit for everybody. Thank you. Sylvia, back to you.
Thank you, Suchika ma'am, for giving your insights on how the technology is important nowadays. Now we can move towards the panel questions. I'm just putting the questions in the chat window. The first question from the student is, what kind of training do you need to improve your digital competencies in response of online learning? So over to you.
Sylvia, do you want me to?
Anybody amongst you, like Suchika ma'am, Mahesh sir, Vandana ma'am, Leslie sir, anybody can. What kind of training do you need to improve your digital competencies in response of online learning? Sorry, ma'am.
Yeah, so I'm still trying to get my head around the question, but I want to take the first part of that, which is what kind of digital skills are required in the organization. So think about a typical hospital building. There are cardiologists there who need to know more about the heart, and there are orthopedics there who need to know more about the bones, right? Similarly, if you think about the organization like a hospital, which has various departments doing various things. And if you try and break that into several personas, persona of a leader, persona of someone who will probably interact with technology a little bit, as opposed to persona of someone who will actually build a technological product for the customer. So there are different types of technology skills. There are different types of digital skills needed in an organization. So I think what needs to happen in any organization, and we have started that journey 2 years back, we launched a strategy which we called Digital First, Digital Now. And one of the things that we are doing is honestly looking at what are the different kinds of digital persona across the organization and creating journeys for them. These are all online. And there are also a lot of application involved in this journey. So for example, we recently launched a program called Automation Skills Program, Digital Automation Program. And anybody who was working on a desk on a process, whether in HR, whether in operations, whether in process excellence, whether in IT, could actually use technology to improve their process or improve their work. And we awarded some of the best automation in that. So that sort of really comes down to what is your role, what is the need of technology there, and therefore at what depth do you need to learn technology, if I can be honest. The other piece is generic digital understanding. So everybody needs to know a little bit of machine learning and Internet of Things. People need to know how sort of your automation works. People need to know how AI interacts. What are the ethics associated with AI? The other thing, I want to go back to the doctor hospital example. Even to apply digital skills in your work, you need a lot of human and behavior skills across the organization, like empathy, understanding the customer. Otherwise, you'll have a lot of knowledge. And when I joined the meeting, somebody talked about application and not just knowledge. But you won't be able to apply. So a pediatrician, if he doesn't know how to interact with children and how to put them at ease, good luck with trying to inject a child or vaccinate a child. So underlying all these digital skills are some essential human skills. I call them power skills actually, on how do you come together, how do you make sense of customer needs, and how do you sort of convert that into a product offering, service, automation, what have you. I'm gonna pause, Sylvia, and give space for my other panel members to talk.
Okay.
No, so I'll just build it on it, and fair point, Suchika, from you. So if I break down in a simple stuff, what is competency? Competency is something, a skill that you need fairly good to do some kind of a job. Now, be it's a technological job or be it's anything. And now if you see the digital competency, is something coming up very, very fast, because every training or every format, be it's technology, be it's engineering, be it's any industry, now we are moving into a digital side of it. And there are two reasons to it. One is definitely a COVID, where most of the things may get more and more non-personal. That is one. Second, you will see that it brings a lot of value in terms of removing non-value added activities, giving more productivity and giving a very fair ROI on the investments to the corporates. Now, coming to this particular point, so if you see digital competency is nothing but to learn any competency, you need one more important stuff is the adaptability, because getting into a changes is something that you need to be adaptable. And once you have that, automatically you would be able to, keep improving your own acumen on the various other things. And in response of your online learning, if you see, digital competencies are nothing but getting more savvy to your electronic stuff, getting more interest into it, and so on and so forth. So ideally speaking, more adaptive to a situation, more responsive into a positive attitude will definitely work a lot in terms here.
Okay. We can take up the next question. What is the mechanism to foster successful digital upskilling? Like, can there be any framework created for job seekers to compare their current skill set with desired skills profiles and working on closing the gap? The question is already there on the chat box.
think the question is about how do I bridge the gap between my skill set and what the industry needs. So here, that's my understanding. So coming to answer that, first thing you need to understand as a job seeker or anybody who wants to get into the employment industry, you need to understand what is that you want to do in the industry, right? And there are so many different profiles, and you need to understand which profile you want to get into. And now with that profile, obviously there will be a lot of competencies and expertise required in that particular profile. So for an example, if you want to get into a recruitment kind of profile, which I am in, so for this profile, there are certain listed competencies, behavioral competencies, and functional expertise which is required. So basis on that, you will be able to easily decide between your skill set and what is required. So as a framework, today, I'm not sure whether we really have anything ready-made where you can put your skill set and then identify, which is relevant to you or not. Obviously, there are certain psychological assessments in the industry which will help you to assess your core skills versus which profile would be relevant to you. There are so many psychological assessments like that, which you can try to, which will help you to understand where your profile or where your core skills fill in. Right now, how do I bridge that gap? That obviously depending on your learning and relevant to that particular skill set, that will help you to enhance your skill set to that particular job role or that particular industry. Over to you, Sonia.
I just, I guess, Pooja, you want to say something, or do you just want me to?
No, please continue.
No, absolutely. After you, Pooja, if you want to.
No, I just wanted to add from organizational or institutional perspective that to have a digital upskilling done for either for faculty or maybe for students or for employees, it's very important today to build a culture of continuous learning in the organization. And to build that culture, I think there are several steps that you must do. That you must have LMS, where people can go and learn. You should have that updated skills requirement that is needed, and people can have that understanding that where they really need to upskill themselves. And then also it has to be linked to some reward and recognition strategy, so people are motivated to do these kind of things. So I think these are several steps that can be considered as a mechanism to foster successful digital upskilling. So that one part I wanted to cover. Thanks.
Absolutely. I just want to bring in the question of what framework do we follow. So in 2017, NASSCOM did a study in collaboration with PCG, and they came up with a digital learning portal for IT and ITES professionals. The study's finding was that actually even people who are employed in the IT sector, ITES sector, will need reskilling of about 40 to more than 60% of their current skills over the next couple of years, more than couple of years. So if you just go by that study, the future doesn't just require students, coming out of the college to sort of upskill themselves, but it also requires industry professionals to upskill themselves. And Pooja mentioned the point on continuous learning and creating conditions within the organization and institutions such as yours to build that learning culture. And that point is underscored over and over again. I just want to add what were some of the skills according to that finding. I mean, the things that I talked about, cyber security is emerging as a big skill, and in the ITES space, and you can already see that when most of the processes are being done out of SEZ zones and from people's homes, it actually becomes a huge data security issue for clients. So you've got to manage your cyber security in a big way. These are the skills we are hiring for in the organization. The other piece is nobody wants to have clunky server-based systems anymore. So this whole cloud, understanding of cloud as a concept and what cloud does for your organization, how can you deploy technology easily based on cloud technologies, that's the second skill that's becoming very big. blockchain, machine learning, AI. These are buzzwords. I cannot claim to understand them, but I have put a lot of tools in HR that are AI driven and that are giving us brave new data about employees. Let me just actualize this with a simple example from not HR, but just the work domain. You know, the most repeated thing in an organization is meetings. Have a problem, 10 people will come for a meeting. Have a problem, 20 people will come for a meeting. Each one will bring 3 people for a meeting. It wastes everybody's time. There are now, through your online tools, you can, which are AI driven, you can actually find out ways of working in an organization. How much time is being spent on meeting? How many people are spending that time on meeting? How much of duplication is happening? Who are you spending time with? Who are you not spending time with? I mean, these data, these insights were not available to us before technology. And it can be a huge driver for leadership development, for people's own development, to give them a reflection on where they are spending time. So building things like this is not possible if you don't understand technologies, collaboration technologies, tools, and all of that. So without getting into too much of details and boring students to death, I think it would be really useful to go to an ASCOM future skills portal, figure out what is this future skills emerging in the IT sector, take some of those courses, apply for projects in organizations, because I think the best learning happens out of classroom, right? Like I learned the Internet of Things from people who are much younger on the HR floor, and they've taught me how to download books, how to download movies without paying for them. I don't do that very often, but those are things that you can apply for a project. Work with some of these bodies who need students to help them do simple things, and that creates learning for you on digital skills. That's how you can bridge your gap. I mean, and that's true for each one of us as well, right? Today, if I want to learn something, if I want to learn how to sit in a CXO meeting and add value, I don't do it always in the organization. I sometimes go to a smaller organization, do that, and get that experience for myself. Another thing is, I don't think learning stops at any age. So what's true for you is true for all of us on this side as well. But then I guess you have a point. I'm going to pause and hand over to you.
Yeah, Shuchika, I'm so glad you mentioned this to the students. I mean, industry is also looking forward to these skills. The college-ready students who are joining the industry should come. So it's not like the only IT people should be, knowing about the programming skills or the digital skills. I think even for that matter, mechanical engineers, chemical engineers, everybody should be learning at least one language, I would say. And this is what we have been driving in our industry also, that people should become, digital ready. If I understand by this, I don't know, you have just said digital ready, but I would say it should be more like research ready, analytical ready.
Yeah.
So learn about those skills. And industry has a lot of, gaps where we could really use these kind of skills. It's a vast world out there these days. When you're talking about AI and machine learning, there's a vast gap in the industries which is present, and the way the businesses are moving ahead, the roles are changing. So these are the skills that would always be in demand. So it's not about generalization anymore. It will be more about being specific. If you are a chemical engineer, it would be just picking up one specific field in that area, and then applying your deeper knowledge of analytical skills, statistical skills, and maybe being useful and presenting some useful ideas to your company. So I just wanted to add to that. Thank you.
Thank you,
I
ma'am.
like your point, Vandana, because generally what I have seen, I have interviewed so many people in past, and people are running behind various certifications, keeping in mind that they will get employment. And the basic thing they forget is, if I'm hiring a technology guy, then I will see how creative he is, how critical problem solving he would be bringing on the table, and the other core things. And to be frank, they actually forget about it and they go for all possible certifications. So ideally, don't forget the core. That I would really wanted to highlight here. And then see, because if you remember the first conversation, every 18 months we're going to change the technology. Today we are doing something on mobile, tomorrow something on satellite, then tomorrow something on anything else. You may not be able to learn everything. And if you ask me personally, here all HR professionals know everything. No, not at all. We are just knowing surface. So I sometimes feel that that old phrase of master of one and jack of all or something like that. So I would say that being master of one, which is your core, and then touch upon everything which you wanted to do it based on the need of an hour.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, all of you. We can move towards the next question. What improvements are required in IT infrastructure to make it more suitable for online education? What improvements are required in IT infrastructure to make it more suitable for online education?
I think if we talk about from institutes perspective, it's very important for them to have a more, they really have to invest in digital technologies, because now virtual learning is here to stay. They should actually get away from the mindset that, it is for the time being and we'll be back in the college again. And, this is, we are doing only till this COVID situation is here. But it's not going to be, the thing. The thing will be that, maybe the blended learning will come into the picture, and that is, coming across as the most popular model of learning, that maybe that will stay for a very longer time. So for blended learning, institutes, they must invest in digital technologies. They must get a good virtual conferencing tools. They must have good assessment tools. They must invest in cloud-based systems. So, there is connectivity and the infrastructure that is not become an obstacle, in the learning, while the presentations are being delivered, while you're connecting with the students, while they're submitting the assignment. It has to be smooth and, a comfortable experience for everybody, for faculties and as well as for the students. So I think these are few things that I had in my mind.
Thank you, ma'am. Anybody else wants to address this question? Or we can move towards the next question. What do you feel about the blockchain space? Will it grow, and what type of jobs will it create? Question is there already in the chat box.
We need a blockchain expert for that.
I know. Yeah, we also know this. What kind of jobs will it be?
Yeah, it's Shrutika was saying, talking about future skills. I've been fortunate to be, core team member of the team, like who founded the platform. I've been a part of this program for 3 years, and blockchain is one of the technologies that is, the emerging technology. So they have identified 10 technologies like cloud, cyber, data, AI. Blockchain is one of the technology. But I'm also come from the non-tech background, and I really don't understand what magic blockchain is going to do.
So, working in a bank before First Source, blockchain was very hot because you could book a transaction anywhere, anytime with blockchain. And the physical ledger had to be probably digitally reconciled. That is what I understood from having experienced it. I think more than growing jobs, it will change the nature of some banking and financial services and those jobs. What that would look like is yet to emerge, or if it has emerged, we really need a blockchain expert to unpack that for us. If the group is interested, we could get someone from the organization who is a CTO or a CIO who could talk on this topic to you all. We would have a very periphery view of this subject.
Okay, ma'am. Not a problem. Sure, we can go ahead now. Next question.
Sorry, please go ahead.
Is data analytics field good for career than software developer? Is data analytics field good for career than software developer? These are some questions from the students.
So, I'm sure everybody is bursting to answer this question. Lots of youngsters, not just in colleges, but also in family, in social space, ask us, what is a good career? As questions like this, is data analytics better than software, better than chemical engineering? And Vandana touched upon this, and then did Mahesh. Even, and I'm sorry, I'm saying this to a group of students, and the faculty can berate me later. So on this, it really doesn't matter what field you choose for your studies. I think what's really important is to be able to explore your passion. And trust me, now India is a growing country. We have so much more opportunities. The number of VC funding that's coming in the next, few years, there'll be so many jobs in this country. So one of the mistakes I think many of my peers and I made in my generation, and is really go after what is hot, right? So engineering is hot, go after that. HR is hot, go after that. TV journalism is hot, go after that. I'm taking a very philosophically view to this. I think the hottest thing is your own passion to do things. So if you feel passionate about software development, take that. If you feel passionate about big data analytics, take that. Data analytics is becoming very big. It is one of the most often top cited skills. If you look at some of the companies like Factor Analytics and some of the other people in this space, and what they are doing for their clients, they are basically spooling large amounts and copious amounts of data to be able to give insights, which is not just creating sense making on consumer data behavior, but also driving purchase. I mean, what Facebook does today, or what Insta does today is a very small example of that. What Amazon does is a very big example of that. They've literally married men to machines or people to machines. So both are very, very strong fields, as one of my panel members mentioned. I'd still say it's a really good idea to have a chat with your faculty, have a chat with someone who understands you very well, to be able to discover your own passion and do it. And if your passion is becoming a world-class chef, just go ahead and do that, because data will drive that space also. Data will drive every industry and every space. So whichever industry you are in, you will be touched by data if that's your passion. But just try and find out who you are. Like, look, if I had to really redo my life, I would have become an author. I wouldn't have become an HR head. I would have still impacted people because I had passion to impact people. So I haven't gone too far off from my passion, but life doesn't happen every day. Most of the students are young. You have a chance to decide. So explore yourself, then exploring a lot of fields. I'm going to pause. I'm sure other people want to come in and talk about this.
Yeah, I think you've covered it pretty well, that in, it's individual's interest that is, taking you to places. Software developer has been there for a very long time, and it will continue to be there as a profession. And data, because now we understand how much, data is getting generated every day. We all are interconnected. Everything is happening virtually. So the opportunities in the field of data are going to be huge, huge, huge. But only if you are attracted by data, you really want to work on it, you really like it, and you're passionate about it, then only go there. If otherwise, software developer is also, I mean, both the fields are really great. It's just your interest, whatever you want to do.
Thank you, ma'am. We can move towards the next question. How much work experience is necessary in a particular tech field before I move into the management field?
It's actually we're not able to see a lot of students. So I'm just going to call out on some students to tell me if they know Anjali Sood, and if they can tell me how much her experience is. Can anybody tell me that? So okay, maybe students are on mute, but somebody can put it in the chat if they feel like.
Sure, ma'am.
She's the CEO of Vimeo. I mean, you can grab your Googles quickly to get to know her age profile. This is for the students. I just want to not berate on the point, but look, if you really see, there are 22 and 23-year-old people who are actually making technology in California and Bangalore. Okay, so it's really not age dependent on how much time do you need to spend in a job to move to management level. It is actually very skill dependent and very, very interest dependent. Some people like product development so much that they spend their entire life doing that. Some people like coding so much they spend their entire life doing that. Some people just hate it, they move to other roles. Typically, an organization would like people to have spent a little over 2-3 years before they even consider them for management roles. Traditionally, and I'm talking about first line manager role. And vintage is not a criteria alone. Proclivity or inclination to manage people is big. Some people hate managing people because people are the most abstract, confusing, and sometimes difficult entities to understand. So it's really important if you want to go and become a manager, an IT manager, and then grow as manager of people and leader and CEO and whatnot have you. It is important to understand what is required in their job. And my top 3 are empathy. My top 3 are passion for developing other people. So you should be ready to share. And I'm going to say something controversial. You have to develop an ability to put yourself at the back. I'm still trying to do that. It's not easy. I've spent 20 years in HR. It is a capacity that we have to continue to create in ourselves to put our teams before us. And that, I think, these are the 3 big skills that are required for doing any people management job successfully. So if you think you have that passion, by all means, go in that line. Follow your dreams. Keep quiet.
Thank you, ma'am, for addressing this question. Actually, students have joined through the YouTube link, and some of the faculties are there in the meet. So we can move towards the next question. What should we do to adapt the environment of industry where we are going to start the work? Just a general idea. This is a question from the student. They're asking, what should we do to adapt the environment of industry where we are going to start the work?
Probably I can give a couple of pointers on this. When I started my career, this is what also was in my mind, how I will adapt to this new environment of work culture. So it is till today, even if I go into a new organization, right, my adaptability to that particular organization is also matters. And this will be completely new. Almost at least 70-80% it will be new for me to adapt to that particular culture or environment. So in general, if you want to get adapted to the environment, I would say for the first couple of months when you join an organization, be in the observing mode, be in the learning mode of understanding things, how the dynamics of the organization works. Right, that will really help you to understand, to see how the things are working in that particular organization, and then develop your own understanding and learnings from that. Because if you do not put yourself into the learning and observation mode in the initial couple of months, then that's when the challenge of you will put your thoughts in the beginning itself, and you might not be able to understand the dynamics of the organization. This is not only when you join the industry first, it's also when you go to a new organization after a couple of years. That will also help you to learn because every organization is different, every workplace is different. So you need to really understand the dynamics, how it works, and then adapt according to that.
Thank you, Leslie, sir.
I just will add one more point. Most organizations have a program with this campus campus to corporate kind of workplace. I used to hold this program for a very long time in all the organizations that I worked for, and we sort of advise students 3 or 4 things. One of them is called the law of defeat, which is basically your time, your accountability starts as soon as you join your organization. So anything that you want, please get up on your feet and take it and get it done, because organizations value that behavior. The other thing that a very famous author, J.K. Rowling, said, right? Expiry date to blaming the parents. So the day you earn your first paycheck, that is the day when you stop blaming your parents for your problems, and you start blaming yourself for your problems, and your locus of control needs to be incorporated. And the third thing about organization is good old teamwork. Nobody likes geniuses in the organization. Their place is in a lab or in a research center or whatever. In organizations, you have to get the energy of teams and people and work with them. So, if you make something on your desktop which is great looking, and if it's a nice pickle, please take it to the sun and sun it. Don't keep it in your laptop. A pickle tastes better when it is sun. So sun your ideas, take it to more people. The more you create momentum within the organization around your ideas, better the chances of that being accepted. So think about it like that. I'll pause.
Thank you, ma'am. Next question. What are the minimum skills companies expect from an IT fresher in software development field? The question is there already on the chat window.
So any role, there are two things. One is your technical skills, and as the question is very specific to the IT, technical skill and the competencies, behavioral competencies relevant to that particular role. So from a technical skill standpoint, as a fresher, the basic thing any organization would be looking at is your data structure and problem solving ability. Right? So that is the technical skill set, very, very basic, that is required. And any product company you go, the first couple of discussions would be around data structures and algorithms. And second would be obviously any of your programming language. It's not necessary that you have to learn one particular, you have to learn all the languages. You can be specialized in any particular language. If you're able to do a bit of coding on that language, that is good enough. And coming to the behavioral competencies, again, it depends on the role that you're applying for. So based on that, you need to read through job description to understand what role require what competencies. That will help you to pass.
I'll only add one thing here, and I think that's applicable for all the roles. All the organizations, HRs, employees, they're looking for people who are very curious, who are open to learn. So always, whenever you are in the interview, have that positive attitude and appear as a person who is really open to learn. If you don't know anything, that's not a bad thing. You can always tell that, okay, I'm not aware of this, but I really am interested in learning, so I learn this. And if you show that attitude, I think that is something everybody is looking for. So just be comfortable and just be positive, and good things will happen to you. All the best to all of you.
Thank you, Pooja ma'am and Leslie sir. We are moving towards the panel discussion 2. The topic is the brand you, understanding the contours of creating a compelling personal brand. So we are taking the questions under this discussion. John sir, yeah. What training efforts are required for faculty and students to facilitate changes in mindsets and behaviors? What training efforts are required for faculty and students to facilitate changes in mindsets and behaviors?
I think we have been discussing before also that even for organizations and for institutes, it's very important to start building that culture of continuous learning and have a good ecosystem of knowledge sharing. So whatever is happening, best practices across the industry, what other people are doing, following, what are the latest trends that are coming. So everything, if that is being shared by people and people are accessing it, I think that helps in developing the this culture of continuous learning, and it can be supported by some LMS. You can have access to some learning tool. There are several available, and then you can have trainings also, you know, quarterly or yearly, like every 6 months you can have somebody external and they can come and speak to your people. So I think these can be some of these steps, though I don't know exactly what can be the technical mechanism to have it, you know, done in the college or in the institute. But yeah, these are some suggestions.
Thank you, ma'am. Leslie, sir, do you want to say something?
I'm good on this. Yeah.
Okay. We can move towards the next question. Ma'am, Vandana ma'am, you want to say?
Yes, Sylvia, I would just say a note of caution that training is not, the panacea for everything. Somewhere you have to take control of your own, mindset. And I would just like to mention there's a very good book which has come in right now, which is, Power of Habits. It's by Charles Jung. So maybe go ahead and read certain books. Maybe see what are your disruptive habits. Find out how you can change them. Make an effort towards your own. Make it a point to take control of your own life. It's not like you can teach a person, you can train a person and expect that there will be a different person from the next day or after 3 days. So in real life this doesn't happen. And even if it is a training, for that matter, if you do very intensive trainings, whether you do sensitivity labs or something, some psychological inputs you take. These things may help you, but who has the time for such intensive trainings? So it's better that you take control in your own hand and read a few good books. Even at this level, all the students, you would definitely just Google and find out which are the good books that are recommended. So just do that and make a few pointers. You need to start small. The small things would have a ripple effect, and maybe a few days down the line, a few months or few years, you'll form some good habits that would help you in the long run. So, very peculiar habit I find these days. You watch TV while having your meal. So whatever you're having, you definitely don't remember the next day or even after that meal. So why not, refresh those kind of habits? These things will help you later if you want to. I heard Suchika, she wanted to say, I wanted to become an author. So these days people are becoming whatever they want to become. So it's not like you need to pull yourself back. Even if you are an IT professional or you are an HR professional, you can do whatever you want to do. So all the tools are available these days. So it's just that you need to take control of your own life, I would say. Thank you.
I want to add one point to that. This is a subject very close to my heart, right? Carol Dweck wrote a book on fixed mindset and growth mindset. And she talked about many techniques in the book where how people can show growth mindset and make that a part of their muscle memory rather than fixed mindset. So when a challenge comes, if you crib about it, you will have a fixed mindset. But if you embrace that challenge and start to think about how do you overcome it, what is your own attitude to overcoming challenges, that's growth mindset. Similarly on failure, the importance of, I know it's very difficult for young people to understand why it is important to fail, but having spent 20 years in corporate, I have learned from projects where I have failed much more than where I have succeeded. Because when you succeed on a project or you succeed in implementing something, you don't really sit and reflect on what could have happened better. But when you fail in something, you actually sit and analyze that failure on what could have happened better. And that reflection creates so much learning. And all that is part of growth mindset. The other thing that has helped me a lot, right? All of this everybody knows, right? We know we should read books, we know we should eat healthy, we should exercise. I think personally, and it didn't happen to me when I was in college, so I don't expect any one of you to implement it. But if some of you can implement it, it will be really successful. 2 or 3 things that I've started doing in the last 10 years has helped me become a better professional. One is journaling. I don't journal every day, and I don't journal on Word. I journal on Excel because I'm more comfortable with that. But every week I think about the crisis, or I think about situations where I was not myself, or I think about situations that I think I handled well. And I write a little bit about what I did and what could I have done. And that journaling, that reflection has been my biggest teacher. I have started to focus on meditation and focus on my breath, because it keeps performance and workplace anxiety low. I'm not very successful at it, but look, everything is a journey. And the other thing is, as you progress in your world of work, please do not neglect your health. At 20, 22, 24, you will not understand the value of health. But I'm a 44-year-old woman. If I have to stay in the workforce for till my retirement age, or if I want to do something bigger in the social space, I cannot be stopped by a disease or by lack of fitness or lack of energy. So if you can invest in your health and your personal well-being, apart from your Java and your machine learning and your blockchain, you will have a longer and more balanced career. And I'm just going to pause, because all of us are work in progress on these things. Nobody's perfect, and we all have to do our bit on these things.
Okay, ma'am. I just request the speakers that can we have the discussion on the brand you? That is before taking the next question. Understanding the contours of creating and compelling personal brand. We didn't had a discussion on that.
So you want to understand how can
Yes.
we cultivate our own brand?
Yes.
Okay. So look, I'll just give a personal example, right? Like, I realized that for a very long time, when I was young, my brand was rebel warrior in the organization. And I sort of did not like that too much. I didn't want to war. And I thought that in the function that I'm sitting in, getting shit done, getting things done is a great thing. And I still continue to have that as a pattern to get things done when challenges come. But I also wanted to touch people with my niceness and compassion. And therefore, I strongly took steps to cultivate that. So one of the important things is to really sit and ask yourself who you are and who you want to be. And then cultivate that with the help of reading, with the help of being with those kind of people, with the help of propagating that image for yourself on social media a little bit. People say that don't dress for the job you have, dress for the job you want to have, right? I mean, it's all right. We are all online, so we are all dressing right now as though we are at home and nothing matters. But you have to start to do this mindfully. You have to start to do this mindfully. That's my only offering. Purpose statement, who you want to be, being with those people, reading that kind of literature, and propagating that image on social media for yourself. And taking some experiments in that area, right? Like if you want to be fit, you have to have an exercise regime. If you want to be hydrated, you have to have a water bottle next to you to drink more water. So similarly, if you want to have a brand of being a knowledge expert in your subject, you have to have taken 6 or 7 projects in that subject to be a knowledge expert on that, for people to consider you knowledge expert on that. I'm going to pause. I want to give other panel members a chance to speak. This is future effects of the
Yeah, so I would just like to share that also, I'll just start with my own example. Personally, I'm a very private person, and there are certain things I like, certain things I don't like. So it's, when you're creating a personal brand, it is more about making it known to the world, the things that you want to be known for. So it's more about, and the more you bring it to your authentic self, people will accept it. So it's more about finding your own unique voice. I'll give you an example about what happened during COVID. So I do a little bit of painting on my own. I dabble into colors, watercolors, acrylic, and those kind of things. So I was doing this on my own time. But when I found that in my organization, 24/7 people are available within a township, I was posted in a particular township at that, in a project at that point of time. So I just said, okay, everybody is in their own homes. Why don't we come out and create some artwork? And there were no artists involved. The whole community came forward, and we painted the whole township, in vibrant colors. And that is something that we created on our own. There was no guiding force in that. So when it comes to our personal branding, it is all about creating those kind of unique experiences. One, like Suchika said, you should know who you are. So it's more about first, writing down probably on a piece of paper your own personal statement, your own personal vision, where you are and where you want to be. Maybe as students, maybe in 3 years' time or 5 years' time, where you want to be, and then spread out a message, because students are already available on kind of social medias. So maybe a very consistent message in the directions that you want to be known as, that would help. And let me tell you that it is right when you have chosen this topic. It is very important topic in fact, in that matter, that companies do look at profiles of people and trying to find out what kind of person this person represents. So it's more about the whole personality of a person, and you should have control over your digital presence. So I just say that. Thank you.
Thank you,
I
Vandana
would
ma'am.
also add a little to that why it has become a very important topic today, personal branding, because uh, uh, the work culture is changing. Remote work has become a new norm today, and gig economy is on the rise. So what people are talking that in the future maybe companies are not going to spend much on your trainings and on your development things. They'll hire people who are good with their work, right? So it's very important to be known for your work, that whenever you're going for a job, people trust your capabilities, a combination of your skills and the kind of work that you do. So if you have that kind of reputation, that will always help you getting hired at the right places where you want to be. Plus also it will give another a thing that you're known as a, and I'm sorry, I was just trying to say something else. So one, it is in the hiring, that personal brand is going to help you. The second thing is going to be that you are going to build your network, and whenever you are going to start something your own, or you want to do something, some work, because it is going to be a new norm, like people will be working and they can have something their own where they are interested in. So people will trust you for your capability. And I think for that there are few tips that I would like to add, that be a very credible person. You cannot fake it. So be authentic at what you do. Really follow what you preach other people, what you ask other people to do. Live that life. So be that person, and then have this presence on social media. Follow some influencers who really inspire you, and I think that is the path I think people are following these days. I'm not an expert in that area, but yeah, that's what I'm seeing trending out.
Any other speaker wants to discuss on the brand view? Okay, thank you, Suchika ma'am, Vandana ma'am, Pooja ma'am. We can move towards the next question for the panel to discussion. A great brand starts with understanding who you are and understanding your positioning. What is the perception that you need to create in order to appeal to the target audience that you are trying to appeal to? The question is already there on the chat window.
I'll probably go first, as always, and then, I waited for some. So, we talked a little, and Leslie touched about it, Vandana, Pooja, everybody touched on this topic, that what do organizations like? Everybody likes people who are hardworking. Everybody likes people who are ethical. Integrity is a very big thing. And everybody likes people who can come together and work together, right? If all of you have cleared engineering exams and you are in this engineering college, I'm sure hard work is something that comes easily to you. That rigor of an engineering education in India forces you to sit 15, 16 hours, or at least that's what the perception of the industry is. You can help us change it. So I'm sure rigor and hard work is part of who you are in your DNA. Integrity is very important with the entire focus on corporate governance. I'm sure that college has its own standards on integrity. I'm sure your family and your parents and whoever your guardian has, or whoever is the influencing factor in your life, has given you values. It's really important not to forget those core values as you grow into your life and into your career. I have a little bit of a disconnect with the framing of the question. I would not advise any youngster around me, in my family, in the society, in this college, to try to appeal to anyone. Just be yourself, believe in your core values, believe in those values your parents and your family has given you around hard work. Those values are mirrored in organization. So therefore, very long, we have been probably drinking this Kool-Aid around having to try to become someone that we are not. It is painful to try and fake it all the time and be someone that you are not. If you are someone who says things exactly as it comes in your head, do that. There are consequences of that, and you need to be aware of it. But do you have to change yourself 100% to appeal to someone? I don't think your generation or any generation ever had that compulsion. So that will be my humble submission. Don't change, be yourself. People hire youngsters for their energy and enthusiasm. If you try to be like us, then the fun is lost, right? So, and I'm not saying you're not energetic and enthusiastic, but we like you for your freshness. So as long as you can retain your freshness, it will be very good already. So Vandana, Pooja, Leslie, I'm sure you have thoughts you want to share.
No, exactly my thoughts. I was saying I completely agree with you that this is very important. You should think about how to make your qualities known to others. That is your personal branding, that you are this person, but other people, they don't know about it. So you should make it known to others that, okay, you are capable of this, but never thought of, being perceived by, as someone who is appealing to the other person. So just stay away from that. I would say that very honestly, that nobody should be trying to do that.
Yeah, I completely agree with Pooja and Trishika when we are saying that be your authentic self. Don't try to appeal to a target audience. Definitely, that is very true. But in case you're trying to focus on certain aspect of your personality and you want to create certain content in doing so, then preferably spread out a consistent message. I would say think about one or two platforms where you really want to be known as certain part of your personality. So if you are say good in fashion, and you want to just talk about fashion and then have a YouTube channel and start talking about it. I just read today that Mr. Nitin Gadkari earns 4 lakh per month doing only
Yes.
having a YouTube channel.
That's a news.
Bad idea.
Yes.
Yeah.
So do that. Send
Yeah.
out a consistent message. I know I'm one person who's interested in so many things. I've never been able to, sit down and find out exactly this is one thing I'm interested in and follow this as a passion and maybe have something around this. So if early in your life you are able to distill down your thoughts, because I feel I agree with Chuchika when she says we want freshness in the youngsters, and at a young age, I find this generation is more, intelligent. It's more intelligent than us. So I accept that, and I don't mind accepting that. So you are intelligent enough to know what you want. You are intelligent enough to know what your passions are. So why not you just, distill down your thoughts, and maybe on 1 or 2 channels, don't make it part of your whole social media strategy. Just 1 or 2 things and promote that message. But whenever you're promoting it, be as authentic as you can be as consistent as you can be. So these are the 2 rules. If you follow, I suppose it would go a long way. So thank you.
Yeah, it's very important. Being consistent is the key for personal branding. That's very important.
Agree with you all, ma'am. We can take up the next question. How to leverage social media for promoting personal brand to catch the attention of recruiters?
Okay, so this is a interesting question again to get the attention of recruiters. Today, I see a lot of people in LinkedIn particularly complain that recruiters does not respond to their messages. They're not getting responses for their feedbacks, all those things, right? So to gain attention, or it's not to gain attention. So there is a purpose that you are in social media platform, and why you want to get the attention of the recruiters, right? So one, obviously, for an employment purpose, that you want to connect with the recruiters and try to get a job in an organization. So a couple of things I can point here is, first thing, in social media, all the platforms, LinkedIn is a gold mine today. The things that is happening in LinkedIn is, vast for not just for job seekers, for everybody, like business owners or anybody who wants to leverage their business and get the leads for their business, etc. LinkedIn is becoming a gold mine there. And obviously for job search also, it is a real good platform that you can position yourself and get the attention and get the job that you want. But only thing is, you should know how to use this platform to make it more effective, right? Number one would be obviously making sure that your profile is complete and perfect. And second, if you are a good writer, or if you want to project about your skill set, about some of the projects that you have done, I see a lot of people, youngsters, fresh graduates talking about their projects. A few weeks back I saw a robot doing something which was done by a engineering graduate. So anything as such, you can obviously bring it on the platform, and which gets a wide coverage as well. Second is the major problem that people face as a job seeker today is they're not getting responses, or they're not able to, they send a lot of messages, but they really do not get a response on that particular thing. So to particularly point on that, I get at least 5 to 10 messages every day on my LinkedIn profile, right? I tend to respond to most of the messages, but few I could not. The pattern, if I see, most of the messages are focused on you as a job seeker. If I'm the job seeker, I'm focusing myself, and I'm trying to tell all about myself in the one message, which is not the right strategy to do, right? You should focus on the recruiter or the organization, and then get the attention of them. For an example, if you want to apply for an opportunity with Motorola, if you go to motorola.com and look at the career page, you'll have a lot of job opportunities listed there. If you find something relevant there, if you can pick that particular role and then talk to a recruiter who is in Motorola, then that's when the person will be easily able to connect with you, respond to you, because you have done your homework and now they know that you're talking about something specific. I have seen a lot of job seekers, is there any job for me, right? Asking, really, you cannot expect somebody else to search a job for you, right? That's not the how, because everybody's on their own world and things. So it will be very difficult for anybody to do that. So to get attention, make your message very specific, customized, and targeted to whoever your target audience is, whether it's recruiter or getting projects, whatever it might be. But make your message very much specific and customized to them, which will help you to get the attention, get the response, get the actions on that. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Leslie sir, for your guidance. Can we move towards the next question? How to know what will be right for me while making life decisions? How do I be sure I don't end up wrong? Ma'am, you are on mute, I guess. Suchika ma'am.
I tell you what my 5-year-old daughter does. Okay, he actually does oni moni mo, catch the tiger by the toe, and that's how she decides, right? And I'll tell you what I do. I really look at things very, very logically and clinically, and decide pros and cons of career choices, of buying a house, of buying a car, stuff like that. These are decisions you will generally face in life. Or you'll also have a very, very big decision of facing very soon, probably in another 4-5 years, around your life partner and all of that, right? So one is to decide logically, but also to feel whether it feels right for you. Really important to feel. I cannot undermine the quality of feeling that you go through, and also to a group of engineers, I must be coming across as a very fuddy-duddy old woman saying you should not just look at things logically, you should also feel them in your heart and understand what's right for you and what's your gut. There are 3 intelligence centers in our whole system, right? Your mind, your body, and your soul. And these often guide you to give the right answers because they are built by your conscious and subconscious experience. Do not undermine the importance of your parents, your family members, your friends, your well-wishers, your mentors, your teachers. They have had the hindsight of experience. My mom used to tell me that I don't understand one thing about you. Why do you have to experience everything and then decide whether it's right or wrong for you? Here I am. I'm a study in life. Why don't you just learn from me and do it? But look, there is a part of you that would want to experiment with life, want to defy your parents, want to defy social norms. There's nothing right or wrong. You just have to know whether it is right for you, whether you can stomach it or not. Or are you following or chasing a fad, like leaving your job and becoming an entrepreneur? It comes with a lot of hardships. It comes with a lot of financial instability. Are you someone who can stomach that financial instability? If you're not, don't go down that path. Over a period of time, you will, like I said, you'll learn far more from your failures than your success. So don't be worried about life. Before you know it, it's going to be over. So just go with your flow, go with your gut, go with the advice you get around you, and just flow. This is not a question. I love it that 25-year-old and 24-year-olds are asking this question, but don't be too bogged down by this question. Life will teach you. It has its own to do. It has its own moments of learning. Vandana, Pooja, Leslie.
So I would here, I think, quote my example that I come from a very small village near Jhansi, and my entire education I've done in government Kanyantar college, if you've heard those kind of names, and my family is completely into farming and everything. So I took decisions for my life, just, knowing that, okay, something will happen and this is what I want to do. I was never, aware of, that this is the path that is going to, lead towards, a success in my life, or what I'm going to do after this. I never was sure about that, if it is going to be a right thing or wrong thing, or I was just going to waste my parents' money, because I did not actually get admission in very good universities, but I just wanted to move forward and see what will happen towards the end of it. So like that, I came to Jhansi from my village, from Jhansi to Noida, and today I am doing decent in my life. So it has all been experiment. When I was deciding, I was never too sure that it's gonna be the right thing. I was like, I'm doing it because I want to. It can be right, it can be wrong, and then we will think of the next thing. So never be very, those kind of expectation that, okay, I'm deciding, I'm thinking about it, and that I'm deciding, and this has to be the right thing. That will be, that will put unnecessary burden on your mind. You just be very comfortable, light, and just think that, okay, this is what I want to do, and just analyze it, and just see your interest where it is, and then just move forward. And whenever it is done, you will find your next steps. So just take it very lightly. That's what I will suggest.
Anybody else?
Yeah, I agree with what Shishika ma'am said, right? While you're logical, you also feel it that what you're trying to do. So one thing I like to add upon that is, don't be so afraid of, don't be concerned about failing. It's okay to fail, and it's okay to, get learning from that. Only thing is how soon, how quickly you're able to come up after your failure, how you can reduce the impact of your failure. That is what matters, right? So when your thought process is aligned towards what you want to achieve and where you want to go, and when you feel it, then automatically failure, the impact of failure would not be so high. And if you do not feel, and if you are taking a decision for somebody else directions, then the impact might be bigger, and you might not be able to reduce the impact of that failure, right? So otherwise, if you feel it, and if you think that is the right thing for you to decide, then go ahead and do it. And if it goes well, or, better. If in case there is a challenge, you'll always able to come out of that as well.
Yeah, and I would like to add, like, come on, you're allowed to make a wrong choice, and you should make a wrong choice. I mean, life is not all about making the right choices. It's about choosing between the right, wrong, or more wrong. I don't know. Maybe most of the decisions maybe I have made in my life may have been wrong, but it's all about choosing that one particular thing, and then uh, more important and more thing is you accept the decision and live with it. So this life is long, and maybe at my age, if I ask this question, uh, it may be right. But at your age, you just do what you're supposed to do. What one thing most important at this stage is understanding your passions, understanding the way you stand, and you have all the life ahead of you to make those choices. So even if you make the first step wrong, doesn't matter. Life will give you more choices, and you will learn along as you go ahead. And like Leslie said, that you need to learn from your mistakes. So what is not allowed is that you don't learn from your mistakes. You do learn and then move ahead. So you learn from your failures. So don't go on failing, uh, I would say, but just believe in your heart that you are allowed to make a wrong choice, and don't feel disheartened by that. So it's a long journey ahead for you, and I would say all the best. Okay, thank you.
I studied biotechnologies in my graduation, and I did nothing about it, because by the end of it, I realized that this is not what I want to do in my life, and I would never succeed in this career. So I left it there, but I never say it was a failure, it was a wrong choice. I never, regret about it. I learned so many things when I was there. I don't know anything about biotechnology today, but yeah, I did it. I studied for like 3 years in my life. So just don't be afraid of anything.
Very true, Madam Vandana, Madam. I talk to them in my address that always when they get failures in earlier age, that makes them to handle the challenges. So that's how this generation is, I call them smart generation because they use smartphone right from their, they born. So they have little tolerance. You know, it's a click of the button, they get everything. Unlike we had to struggle for many things. But anyway, based on their knowledge and intelligence, they will survive. But they need to learn with the challenges they face. Thank you. Very, very nice suggestions.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. This was our last question. We are moving towards the vote of thanks.
Sylvia, one moment. Can I ask a question?
Yeah,
Yeah, hi to all the panelists. This is Ekta Upadhyay, Head of AIML and Data Engineering Department in Universal College of Engineering. And my question goes to all the panelists. So now in our final year, we have around 300 students or so. So the question is, when you all find a couple of resumes or 30 to 40 resumes with you to select in for the fresher at the fresher level, so what is the keywords that you are looking in for? So students build up their resumes with projects, with internships, with their level of expertise, their skill sets into it. So what are those keywords that we are looking in for, or the students need to highlight in their resume to get picked up before getting into the technical skill level or giving into the aptitude test? So basic understanding of the keywords that we are looking in for. A quick question to the panelists. Yeah.
That's a good question. Every day I am in LinkedIn or any of the job portal putting out the keywords and getting resumes, right? So that's my core job. So to answer your question, the keywords come from the role, right? So if for an example, if I'm hiring for a data scientist, so I have a job description for that, and I have a discussion with the hiring manager on what skill set they are looking for, and then my keywords are from that particular role specific keywords, right? To identify resumes in any of the job portal. So so now how do a job seeker can write the same keyword that I am putting? That's the question that you are trying to ask, right?
Yes.
So first thing I have seen in freshers is the major challenge that most of the resumes has is in terms of freshers particularly. Obviously, they are open for different roles. They are not open. They are not so specific that I want to get into data science, or I want to get into Java development, or I want to get into front-end development, whatever it might be. So today, after 10 years, if you see my resume would be more focused towards talent acquisition and recruiting, right? Because why? Because I have 10 years of experience in recruiting. So obviously my resume is focusing on that. But as a fresher, most of the resumes is not focused towards a particular profile or a particular role. That is a bit of challenge. When you have a generic resume, then the chances of getting a resume shortlisted or seen by a recruiter is less. Okay, so I would suggest to have one, if the candidate or the job seeker is very clear on what they want to get into, like they want to get into programming, then what programming language, and projects relevant to that particular programming language, right? So if for example, to take an example, if I want to get into data science or data scientist, then my projects should talk about my data science related projects and my responsibilities, or my description internships can also talk about the data science things, right? What I'm saying is, you would have, as a fresher, you would have done something else also. That's okay, but highlight these things, right? Highlight what you want to get into. And another simple technique that you can try and understand that is, there are so many job descriptions out in the market. If anybody reads some 5 to 10 job descriptions, you will easily identify what are the key things that companies are expecting from that particular profile. So if you can, how you can bring those keywords in your projects, in your internships, in your objective or whatever it is, that will help you. And another one quick tip is, like, don't have your three, four pages resume. As a fresher, it's ideal to have a 1-page resume, right? And if you can bring all the information in that 1 page, that's the best for it. I hope that helps.
Thanks so much, sir.
Thank you, sir. There is one more question from the students. The student name is Kush Mawania. He's saying, I'm passionate about user experience design. What is the impact or how can a UX designer contribute to an organization? Does having a bachelor's degree in computer science differ me in this field? That question is already there on the chat box.
Yes, I can answer for this as well. So UI and UX is the very important role today as well. Whatever you are seeing today in Amazon.com or Flipkart.com, any website for that matter, UX plays a major role, right? In fact, because UX is the person who decides what kind of features needs to be on the application or on the website, and how many clicks the user will do on that particular platform to get through the journey in that particular platform, right? So that becomes a very crucial role. So obviously the importance of the role is very much there in the industry today, particularly in the internet world. So that is that. Second, as a computer science engineer, yes, you can again get into UX designing, not a challenge. Only thing is you should understand the frameworks, wireframes, the models in UX, those things. If you understand those things and if you're passionate about that, definitely you can make it.
Thank you,
I
sir.
would only say that this is a very bright career choice. Design is making a difference in everything today that we are seeing around us, and it is a competitive advantage for companies. So, because tech people don't understand much about design, today's requirement is to have tech people who have knowledge in the design field as well. Because you know what, Apple, like for example, their design, that's their competitive advantage, what they have done. So all the tech companies are looking for engineers who comes with a design background, and that's a very important skill that is being sought after by most of the employers in tech field. So definitely you can go for it.
One last point to add on that, sorry. So as a computer science engineer, if you still, if you're focused towards getting into UX, there are a lot of other courses also, which is very specific to UX. Try and get those and try to do certain internships relevant to that, which will easily get you a good employment in the organization also.
So one last question. Do we have, so when we are talking about this online learning and online courses being put up into multiple platforms now, so what kind of weightage are we having to, for a fresher level, how much of weightage do we give to these kind of learnings that is available on the online platforms, the certification programs I'm talking about?
Yeah, that's a very interesting question again. So see, from a weightage perspective, as a recruiter or as an interviewer, there are certain certification obviously have weightage. For an example, if somebody, if I'm hiring for a SAP consultant, and if they are a certified SAP consultant from a SAP itself, then that definitely has a weightage, right? Similarly, there is for Java we have Oracle certification and those things. But these courses which we do in Udemy or any other platform for that matter does not have a weightage from a brand perspective or a certification perspective. But what it helps is how much knowledge you gain from that, right? That can be a starting point. That obviously, if I'm not somebody who is understanding UX, and if I do something related to UX and learn that, that will start my direction or a journey towards that particular path, right? And obviously, I'll build things from that. So that is one. So it's not about the writing on the resume saying that I have certified on this. That is not going to make an impact. What is going to make an impact is what is that learning that you've had that will make an impact in your interviews. Number one, in the getting the interview itself. So as he has also asked, this person has asked that he is a computer science engineering. Now, if he has to put something on his resume about UX, this will obviously have an advantage that I have done UX certification. Now this will come as a keyword, in their resume, right? So that's how it will help to get an interview, and the depth that they have learned will help them in cracking the interviews.
Okay, thank you.
Sure, sir. Thank you. Now I would request Mrs. Hazel Lopez ma'am to deliver the vote of thanks.
Learn from failure and move ahead. On behalf of Universal College of Engineering, I extend a hearty vote of thanks to all the speakers of the session who spare time from their busiest schedule and share their findings and opinions with us. Today, we had an opportunity to gain knowledge from you all, and this will surely be going to benefit our students in their careers. And I'm pretty sure our students will focus on continuous learning and will consciously put efforts on improving skill sets. Today's seminar gave deep insights into the topic and also revealed some interesting facts. I would also like to thank keynote speaker, Mr. Ramit Tyagi, for enlightening us with your knowledge. My sincere thanks to K.A. Vijayan sir for taking out time and addressing our students. I would like to express my sincere gratitude to our campus director, Dr. J.P. Patil sir, for always encouraging us to conduct such fruitful sessions. I'm also grateful to Mr. Mahendra Rawat sir for arranging such helpful sessions through ICT Academy. I must mention our deep sense of appreciation to all panelists, Vandana Chaturvedi, Pooja Yadav, Mahesh Joshi, Suchika Sahay, Leslie Callistus, for sharing your experience and industry expectations with our students and solving all their queries. My heartfelt thanks to our ICT coordinator from Universal College, Dr. Ekta Upadhyay ma'am, for constantly taking our efforts in arranging sessions that truly encourage and benefit our students in their careers. Lastly, a big thanks to all the faculties and students for attending the session and making the discussions interesting and fruitful. Once again, thank you everyone.
Can I request everyone to switch on the camera, please? Quick snapshot. Thank you so much, everyone. Thanks a lot.
You all, the feedback link is there in the chat window. Kindly give your valuable feedback. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Leslie, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thanks, Mahendra. Yeah.
The link is same for the faculties and students, so please give your feedback with the same link.